helping make your life easier. Moms Every Day.
Hello, welcome to Moms Every Day. I'm Hattie Cheek. Today we are going to be talking about concussions, especially with children. So we have Dr. Payne, Dr. Cottrell here from Marshall and Cabell Huntington Hospital. It's good to see you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Now, this has definitely been something that we've been paying attention to a lot closer over the past few years. But what happens in a child's or teenager's brain when they do get a concussion? What's going on?
So the brain is loosely connected to the skull, and when the head is hit, the brain shifts around within the skull, and that shifting can sometimes create more or less a bruise on the brain, and it's that bruise that causes the symptoms that we see of a concussion.
All right, so it looks like a bruise.
Right, right.
And so what causes this bruise typically?
It's based on the neuronal level, cellular level. Things get shifted around, things get torn, stretched.
Okay, and so concussions, they've been dismissed before in the past. You know, they've said they're not a big deal, nothing serious. Why is it that we're noticing them now? What is it that we can do about it? Just what's your take on that?
Sure. In the past, basically what we told kids were if you had a concussion, you should be able to just shake it off and get back in there pretty quick.
It didn't do us much good, I guess.
Right, and now we're finding out that there's so much long-term sequelae to these illnesses and these injuries, and especially the number of times you get the concussions and the age that you start getting them. The athletes are much better trained now, and they're much faster, much stronger, and we're seeing a great increase in the number of concussions just because of the speed and the way that they're reacting faster.
Because they're noticing them now versus when they just ignored them in the past, so the numbers seem smaller, but they probably weren't smaller.
Yes, and if you know people who've played sports in the past, almost every one of them will say at some particular time, oh yeah, I got dinged at least 2 or 3 times when I was in high school.
Did you get a concussion? I don't know.
That's where were you, or where are you? I don't know.
Well, what is the most effective way of treating young people who do get concussions? Because I've seen a lot of people get concussions and they've gone through multiple tests to prove that they're okay to play the game again. But how do you treat them?
Rest is very important, and we do total rest. That includes academic rest from school or reading, electronic rest, cell phones, computers, minimal TV, even stimulation, loud noises, bright lights, and then, of course, the physical rest of the sport.
And now that carries a broad term of what rest really is. So moms, if your kids are going to school the next day, you might want to keep them home, actually.
Keep them home until they can be seen by either your primary care provider or in our clinic, and we can help you guide it. Because every child's different, every injury is different, and so we really take it on a case-by-case basis.
But why is it that rest is so important?
We know that initially, it's just like if you hurt your knee and you went to the orthopedic surgeon, he would tell you that your knee can't be stressed or used until it's fully healed. Your brain's the same way. The more you rest your brain, the faster it's going to heal and the faster you'll get back to what you were doing before.
And there is a serious danger if you go back when you're not ready.
Yes, yeah, we see that happening. We see kids who, we warn them if they've had more than one concussion in a season that, you know, that's a significant problem and it may end part of their career.
Now, what is the best way to prevent these? I mean, you don't want to end your career over that. I know people, they want to get back there, back out on the field as fast as possible, but...
I think appropriate coaching is what we're seeing. The coaches anymore at the high school and the college level are so much better at teaching what's called heads-up tackling, and that's what we think may be the easiest way to avoid a concussion. And we're seeing this trickle down to midget league and middle schools. So everybody is starting to this recognition of concussions and the recognition of the best way to prevent it.
Yeah, and coaches are everywhere. What's the main point that you want coaches of any sport to know when it comes to concussions?
The main point for coaches, parents, and even players themselves or their friends on the team is to be able to identify the symptoms of a concussion when they happen. And it can vary. It can be a headache, dizziness, nausea, vomiting, poor balance. And if you see a player acting different on the field, have them sit out. When in doubt, sit out.
When in doubt, sit out. All right, good advice. And then if anybody needs to get in contact with you, what's the best way?
You can call our number, Marshall Neuroscience, 304-691-1787.
Okay.
And we have concussion clinic weekly. We take referrals from the emergency rooms, primary care physicians, or self-referrals.
All right, that's good information. If you guys need any more or you need anything else, you just head to our website, WSAZ.com. Click on the Moms Everyday tab. You can rewatch the interview, and then make sure that you download our Moms Everyday app. Again, some really good advice on concussions. Moms, parents, definitely something that you want to keep track of. We'll have more Moms Every Day coming up after the break. Stick around.